Hi everyone, there will be a quiz at the end of this lesson to test your knowledge on everything that we have learnt so far, so make sure to take notes and pause the video if you need to. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Lesson 2 in the Rockschool Music Production course with me, Katie Russell. In the previous lesson, we outlined everything that's going to come up in your exam, all the sections, and in today's lesson, we're going to start looking at your theory. We're also going to look at BandLab for Education and start setting up a project for you to use for your coursework. In today's theory lesson, we are going to look at things you'll find in a studio. So we're going to look at instruments, we're going to look at microphones as well. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a few different pictures on the screen, and I want you guys to, you can do this in your head or you can write this down on a piece of paper. We're going to go through and I want you to just think about what each one is. This might sound quite simple, but there's a couple of trick ones in there, so just keep an eye out for that. You can find this on page 12 in your music production book. Okay, let's have a look at the answers. Let's see what you all got. So for the first picture, we've got an electric guitar. So we were looking for electric guitar, not just guitar, because there's a couple of different types of guitar coming up later on. The next one is acoustic guitar. Well done for everyone who got that. Then we've got drums or drum kit. We've got bass guitar. This one's probably quite a hard one. And then we've got vocals. You can also have singing for the next picture. And then finally, keyboard. You can also have piano as well. So these are common instruments that you'll find in any recording studio. Now we're going to have a look at microphones. So there's a page on this in your book, and it is on page number 18. There are two main types of microphones. There are a couple more, but we're just going to focus on the two main types. These are dynamic microphones and condenser microphones. A dynamic microphone looks a little bit like this. I've got one here. The advantages of a dynamic microphone, they are rugged and they are able to handle high sound pressure levels, like those from a kick drum, for example. Because they are rugged and hard wearing, they're really good if you are performing live. If you're a band, going on tour, going on the road, these are really good because they're a little bit more hard wearing than condenser microphones, which we'll talk about in a minute. But if you think, you've got a singer on tour, they might throw the microphone down, they don't look after it pretty well. These are very good for going on tour and for live environments. They provide an overall good sound quality as well, and they are relatively cheap. So what I have here is a Shure SM58, probably the most common type of dynamic microphone. You can pick these up for around 50, 60 pounds, something like that. So in terms of microphones, pretty cheap. The downsides of a dynamic microphone is that they're generally not as good as a condenser microphone for recording instruments with higher frequencies. For example, like strings, recording vocals, stuff like that. You generally want to go for a condenser microphone just because it picks up a lot more of those frequencies and harmonics as well. So that's the downside of a dynamic microphone. Condenser microphones. I have one here. This is what you call a condenser microphone. They have the diaphragm is a lower mass, and it's a lot more sensitive. So these microphones are great in a recording studio environment because it really picks up the sounds of like strings and voice and acoustic guitars really nicely. Downside to using microphones like these is you wouldn't really use them too much in a live environment because they get damaged a lot more easily and they are a lot more expensive. So I think this is a Focusrite microphone. Most common ones you'd find in a recording studio are Neumann's U87s, AKG C414. They're all good examples of really good recording studio microphones, but they are expensive. You're looking at hundreds of pounds, even going into thousands of pounds as well. You can find more information on this on page 18 of your music production book. Now we're going to move on to DAWs. So you might have heard me talk about this in the introduction video. So what is a DAW? A DAW stands for a digital audio workstation. It basically means it's the name given to any computer system or software that can be used to record and edit audio. So it's a form of music production and it's easily accessible nowadays to a lot of people, whereas before you'd only really find them in studios. Now most people can get it on their laptops, tablets, bedroom producers, everything like that. BandLab is an example of a DAW. If you've got a Mac or an iPad, you might know about GarageBand. That's also an example of a DAW, DAW. These two, BandLab and GarageBand, are quite simplified versions, but they're really good to get started on. Some more advanced ones you will find in a studio would be Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, Cubase, Studio One, and there's many more as well. So what we're going to do now is we are going to sign up for BandLab Education, and I have created a classroom for you guys, for my students to sign up to, and you can submit your coursework there for me to look at, and we can write comments and I can return it back to you. It's a really good way for me to check up and see how you're doing on your coursework. So the next little bit is going to explain a little bit more about that and how you can get access to BandLab, start your project and join my classroom. You will need to go onto the internet and search for BandLab for Education. When it's loaded, you'll need to go up to the top and click log in. If you haven't got an account with BandLab already, you can do so by signing up at the bottom. And then you log in. This is your BandLab for Education homepage. What we're going to do now is we're going to join a class that I have created for you. So click join class and type in the passcode NMPQ4HN and click join. You will now be taken to your classroom. I have already started an assignment for you. You click on Start Assignment, Teacher's Assignment, and it will load up your BandLab project for you. I'm just going to go down and click on Browse Loops. So this is your BandLab window. This is the name of your coursework that you're going to be doing. Here is your Arrange window. So this is where your music will be. Down here on the left-hand side, this is where you can add your tracks. So I'm going to go ahead and add drum machine track for now. It loads up a drum machine for me. This is the play button. This is your timestamp. This is your bars over here. This is your tempo, so you can change it by typing it in like this, or you can drag it up and down. You can click on this and highlight this, and this creates a loop which will play over and over again. I'm just going to click off here. If you go up the top, this is where you can submit what you've done so far, and this is where you can save it if you're not ready for me to listen to it. Once it's saved, you can exit in the top left and you can come back to it anytime. This is where your project is. You can open it up again. You can even restart the assignment. And you can leave comments as well. You can also view your assignment there in the homepage. In the next lesson, we're going to do a little bit more theory. We're going to be looking at cables, mixing desks, different formats as well. I would recommend checking out the free BandLab course that you get alongside this course. Have a go in the meantime, play around, get used to it, but don't worry if you don't, because we will be going over BandLab step by step later on in the course, so you will get a really good chance to understand it before you submit your coursework. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks for watching lesson 2. Now it's time to take that quiz and test your knowledge on instruments and microphones.